Yo, welcome to another episode of the Simply Ball Dropping Podcast. I'm your host and the man behind the mic, K Sap. And today, man, we got a wild show for you guys today. But when you come across the video, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Make sure you share the video out. Make sure you got your post notifications on so you'll know every time Simply Ball Dropping drops another hot banger. And if this is your first time coming across the channel and the platform, please hit the subscribe button. On this channel, we cover sports, hot topics, roundtable talk, and the marriage chronicles. I see everybody in the comment section, hashtag salute. And you know what my mantra is. Tell a friend to tell a friend. It might not be for you, but it might be for them. Well, man, guys, man, it's getting wild, man. It's getting wild. And Jason Whitlock is at it again. Now he goes on a personal attack on Deion Sanders after Saturday's game against UCLA, where they lost 28-16. And this time he unleashed. Y'all know the personal attacks that Jason Whitlock has been putting on Deion Sanders ever since he took over Colorado Buffalo's football team back in December of 2022. And everything that Deion does is under heavy scrutiny, and it's really been scrutinized by Jason Whitlock. I don't know where Jason Whitlock comes up and finds time to generate false narratives in this material about Deion Sanders, putting together his own soliloquies about what Deion is, and everybody is worshiping a false god and putting Deion on this pedestal and things like this. And Jason Whitlock just sat back and capitalizes off of everything about Deion Sanders and that Colorado Buffalo's football team. Y'all know in the past he's criticized Deion after the first game at TCU when, they had the press conference and Deion was talking about he kept receipts and everything. And Jason Whitlock was saying that Deion took away the shine from the kids and made it all about him. Just, scrutinize everything Deion did, the way he talks, the way he walks, his brash persona, and all that. I mean, Jason Whitlock is a heavy critic of Deion Sanders. And what I find very interesting about this is Jason Whitlock does not criticize the obvious things that are going on besides Deion Sanders. He continuously keeps having Brett Favre on his podcast and won't address the situation that Brett Favre was stealing from Mississippi. And he still has him on his podcast, interviewing him, talking to him, but he condones that stuff that Brett Favre is doing. But everything that Deion does in a positive light, he criticizes it. He comes up with anything to throw shade on the miraculous job that Deion Sanders is doing with the Colorado Buffaloes in that program. They're off to a 4-4 start, 3 more victories than they had last year, but he is under heavy scrutiny and is led by Jason Whitlock. Guys, I'm going to play you a clip of what Jason Whitlock had to say after Colorado took a defeat to UCLA and the way he scrutinized Deion Sanders and the storyline that he has came up with about Deion Sanders not being a coach. He's just this ESPN and Fox Sports Network pawn for views and revenue and things like that. Let's take a listen to what Jason Whitlock had to say. And when we finish listening to that, I'll come back and tell you what I think.
This is coaching malpractice. Anyone that knows anything about football can recognize it. Anybody that's not interested in putting their lips on Deion's rear end can recognize it. It's malpractice. In this era of safety-first football, there's no other coach who can get away with treating a college quarterback the way Deion is treating his own son. Could you imagine if a white coach left a black quarterback out on the field clearly injured, game is over, out of reach, and left him out? What would Ryan Clark and all the other race controllers, the race bait narrative control, what would they be saying about that white coach? But because it's Deion doing it to his son, no one says a word. The worship of Deion justifies and allows Deion to abuse his own son in pursuit of some false narrative that Deion is a great coach. Deion Sanders is not a great coach. He's a character Fox Sports and ESPN are using to draw television ratings. He's a golden calf for people who need something to worship, who want to worship something other than God. He is their golden calf. He is all the racial idolaters that just need, I gotta have this black hero and it's Deion. He's got gold chains and sunglasses and he invites rappers to the game and he's just so good. The kids relate to him. I just love Deion. He's your golden calf. He's someone you worship, someone you won't analyze honestly. This is not a great coach. No great coach would subject their quarterback to the type of on-field abuse Shador is enduring. No great coach would utilize an all-pass offense against a team with UCLA's pass rushers. No great head coach would escort his quarterback and star defensive player to an NBA game, Nuggets-Lakers, during a week of game preparation. No great coach would be happy with a star quarterback who refuses to shake hands with his opponents after a game. That was Shador. You certainly wouldn't call that kid the leader of your team. The Coach Prime experiment is a disaster.
Wow. That right there, Jason Whitlock said a lot, and this is my take on that. First of all, Jason Whitlock, in my opinion, you're dead wrong. Y'all would have to go listen to the full clip on Jason Whitlock's Fearless podcast, which a lot of people say that they don't tune in to Jason Whitlock's podcast, but you have to listen to that in its entirety so you can get the entire message. But from the soundbite that I played, Jason Whitlock, in my opinion, is dead wrong. He called Deion a character and a golden calf. And ESPN and Fox is just using him for television ratings. Basically, he was alleviating to what Shador was hobbling around. Basically, Shador was not hurt. He was not injured. He was just banged up. He was not injured. Like Deion stated, he had taken a shot at halftime just to ease some of the hits that he was taking, but he was not hurt. I mean, he was just hobbled around. He was not hurt. He was not injured, because in a safety first football, like you said, these guys get checked out. Now, if Shador was not able to continue, he wouldn't have continued. So you're wrong on that point. He was not hurt. And then you're talking about a high pass offense. And in your soundbite that I didn't play, you said that Deion abandoned the run. Who would abandon the run the way Deion did? He said Hankerson and Edwards in the first half combined for 7 rushes total. There's a lot of NFL coaches that abandon the run all the time. Mike McCarthy bans the run. It's a lot of teams that abandon the run to pass the ball. Last year, if you go back to when Dak came back, and the year before that, when they abandoned the run and Dak was out there just slinging the ball all over the place, you had no problem with that. You never criticized that. But when it's dealing with Deion Sanders, you will criticize it. And another thing that you said is him escorting his son and the cornerback, Travis Hunter, to the Denver and Lakers game. It's plenty of times that coaches have been seen with, their players sitting courtside in preparation of weeks games. So it's no different. But just because it's Deion Sanders, you want to scrutinize that and personally attack him, and you're calling him a false god and things like that, and people worship him. People don't want to kiss his ass and stuff like that. We just kissing his ass and all that. But y'all got to go listen to the whole clip, because Jason Whitlock unleashed some egregious things, man, that are uncalled for. Because when it comes to Deion Sanders, he's under heavy scrutiny with Jason Whitlock. But at this time, Colorado is doing a great job, and Deion and his coaching staff are doing a great job preparing these kids. Like I said, 4-4 record. last year 1-11. And also he goes on to say that, Deion ran every kid off from the team last year and brought in 83 new guys. Well, I mean, Deion brought in a new coaching staff, right? So the coaching staff that they had there before, they fired the coaching staff. So the rest of them went with him. So Deion brought his own coaching staff and players that wanted to play for Deion to Colorado. There's no problem with that. But you seem to have a problem with that, but you don't want to scrutinize things that are going on that need to be addressed. But you turn your attention to personally attack Deion and call Deion out of his name, which is uncalled for. So you guys, man, let me know what y'all think in the comments. Like I said, Jason Whitlock strikes again. Keep sharing the videos out. Keep giving it a thumbs up. And always keep supporting. And that's going to wrap up another episode of the Simply Ball Dropping Podcast. I'm your host and the man behind the mic, K-Sap. We're going to catch you on the next one. Deuces.
Thanks for listening to the Simply Ball Dropping Podcast. Be sure to subscribe, like, and share on all major platforms.
Another one.